Do you have any personal connections or beliefs to the night sky that you'd be willing to share?
Yes. I am from the Skidi band of the Pawnee, and we came from the stars. So we came, the first Skidi girl was from the union of the morning star, which we think to be Mars, and the evening star, Venus. And well, there's a story in there, but yes. So they sent the first girl down to Earth, and then the first boy. So those are the stars, and the stars are more significant than the sun and the moon. So the sun and the moon then created the first boy, their union, and he was sent down to Earth. So the girl was the first Skidi, first of my ancestors. And anyhow, Evening Star had a huge garden with all different kinds of grains, and she had buffalo up there. And so when they sent down the little girl, and then she was wrapped in a yellow buffalo hide, and then she was sent with all these grains so that she could eat. And so anyway, even to this day, our seeds are so important, especially the corn. Corn was like our mainstay. And then when the little girl came down, then the yellow buffalo calf skin that she was in turned into a buffalo. So they were our two main sources of food way back when, the buffalo and the corn. And we were also a sedentary we had permanent earth lodge homes, but then also the tribe moved around and hunted buffalo at different times of the year. And then they'd come back, and then the corn would be ready to be picked. And so anyway, even the way we dance today, like the powwows, I'll just say in general, powwows, we call them powwows, or they're not always called powwows, but dances, tribal dances. Usually the people go from, clockwise, but our tribe honors the movement of the stars. So we dance counterclockwise to honor our old relations. And that's the way it's been since anyone remembers. So that's the relation. And then also we have a similar relationship with the Milky Way, that group of stars is when the body dies here in this realm, then the spirit moves up and goes through, so I can't remember if it was the Big Dipper or Little Dipper. Then they're helped and told what to expect through the Milky Way, so then they can decide to go on to the Milky Way and join their ancestors or return back to Earth. So that's the relationship.
And then the next question I have is, how do you feel about the night sky disappearing?
I think it's very sad. I know my mom grew up on the Fort Berthold Reservation in North Dakota, and so it was pretty desolate. And even now, we were up there over Memorial Day weekend, and there's a casino, and it's a small city, a group of small cities Nothing like what we have here. But anyway, my mom is always just really so happy to go back up there just so that she can see the stars, because it's almost impossible to see them from where we live to the west of Centennial, and so we're right up next to the mountain out the back door, and then the front door we're kind of surrounded, and we're in a valley, so we don't really get the stars where we are. So yeah, it's terribly important. My mother generation before me, and then I think of my children, my youngest son, I think would be more so impacted. Just because my other son has different, is not so connected on the day-to-day with his heritage, but my youngest son is really steeped in the tradition, so, I think for him too, he really has a connection with the stars and the sky. He even has names. It's like we give our children, we have our English names, but we also take time to go through a ceremony of sort for our children. And I'm just talking, well, maybe I should just talk to myself, but that's the way it is, that I was named back when I was 19, but my children were named when they were really young. And so my youngest son, I gave him the name of one of his great-great-grandfathers who had walked from Nebraska to Oklahoma. And actually he was the one, he and his wife had walked from Oklahoma, or from Nebraska to Oklahoma. And his name was Skidi. And actually the Skidi, when dates back when they were still in Nebraska, he found a meteorite, and that's kind of another story. But that meteorite gave him powers, helped him to be a good horse thief, which is really a big thing in our tradition. But then there's that connection as well. But then also that's his Pawnee name, and then his Dakota name is Tawajide, which speaks from the sky. So that may not necessarily be star related, but it's, still from the up above us. So yeah, terribly important.
And then finally, this is kind of connected to the last one, but do you believe that we should fight to preserve the night sky, and if so, why?
Of course. And why? I would say that we don't want to lose. We want to lose our connection, our ability just to look up and see those stars at night. With all the lights, and unfortunately some kids will never see that dark sky, living in big urban areas. It would just kind of be like, animals disappearing from the earth. I would hate to see the stars, which just remain constant up there, disappear, because it's part of our history, our story, our traditions. Just a lot of things we're connected.